Hey y'all. Alright, just a quick video here. I am fixing to pull this ham. It has set overnight. It has cooled down, and I have not touched this, y'all, since last night whenever I got that little bit out, and oh, it was so good. But I thought I would just show you a little glimpse of how I do it. I had Bella there for a second. I've already washed my hands, but I wanted to run that over me. So this is how I do it. Let me get this down and take that bracelet off. And you don't have to wear gloves if you don't want to. I just like to, because all that grease and everything, it's like you can't hardly get your hands clean. But this is it, and it don't look good at this point. But see here how it looks? It's so heavy, but y'all can see. It's just sitting in there, and you can see that liquid is up, all the way up. Only thing really sticking out is that thick thing of fat that I was telling y'all about. All right, so let's get, oh yeah, and there's another few things I wanted to tell y'all about the ham. I had somebody comment and say that this is not a ham. Well, I understand that it's part of its shoulder, but has some leg to it also. They're trying to say it's like the same thing as like pulled pork, and it's not, y'all. It is not. If you see a picnic, a shoulder picnic roast, that is totally different. Now, it's good. You can cook it. Now, I'm not giving no instructions on how to cook it or nothing, but you can cook it and pull it, and that's what you would call like pulled pork, like that you put barbecue sauce on. And if you did that, made one of those and made one of these and pulled it and set it right beside it, it's not even the same color. It does not even taste nowhere near the same. It doesn't, the picnic roast doesn't have all that salt in it, and the difference is this ham is cured and smoked, whereas the picnic roast isn't, as far as my understanding. Okay, and you could take a Smithfield ham and you could slice it and sit it right beside this, and it's going to be the same color. It's going to taste very similar. So if you don't call this a ham, I don't know what you would call it, because it's not the same thing as pulled pork. It is different. So anyway, I just want to make sure if y'all see where it says picnic shoulder roast, that's different. That's what you would make pulled pork with. I know it's all pork, but you know, you call it pulled pork, barbecue, whatever. So I just want to make sure, and it's going to be cheaper. Those are typically cheaper than your hams. And I also want to be sure and clarify that, you know, I told y'all you had to get exactly what I showed in that picture. Now, you don't have to get that brand. Just as long as it's a picnic ham, you're good. I don't even know what the brand of this one is. I don't even pay attention to that, because I'm just always glad to see one. But there are a ton of different brands. There's one brand that Walmart used to carry in these picnics, and it was my absolute favorite. That brand, it was so good. And someone shared it the other time I did a video on the ham and spoke about how good it was. And I was like, oh, you're right. I done forgot, because it'd been so long since I got one. But maybe it was Sugardale or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, don't worry about the brand. As long as it's a picnic ham, you're good. All right, enough yakking. Let me show y'all. I've got my green bean. I'll have to tell y'all what I've done. I about messed my green beans up this morning. But I've got them over here. I've got my potatoes sliced. So after I get this ham pulled, all the hard work is done. It'll only be just to cook. Just throw stuff in the oven, heat it up, and cook. So this is what I do. I just get in here like this. Like, get down here where all this meat is. It's just all in here. You see this here? It's just all meat. And then I will go like this. Oh, I forgot to get me a paper plate or something. I didn't want to put all this back in here, because I want to get that juice. I knew I'd forget something while I was talking. Anyway, I'll figure it out in a minute. So what I do is I kind of get that, you know, that fat off as much as I can. Kind of like this, because it will, most of the time your ham will come out in big chunks like this, so it's it's pretty easy. I'm just gonna lay it down here on the counter. I'll just wipe it down in a minute. And then you just do it like this. Then you just pull it apart after you get that that little bit of fat off of there. And then you know you have to get down in there because there will be little pieces like this. You don't want to throw away good ham. And you might get a little bit of the fat in there, and that's okay. Y'all, let me tell you real quick what I do with my green beans though. So I put them on and, you know, doing like I normally do. I had all my seasonings in there except for my my chicken bouillon. And, you know, and I do quite a bit of season. So I didn't, normally I'll do 1 bouillon cube because for the amount of green beans that I was making for us, that's about how much you need. Well, I didn't have any. So, but I did have some of the, like the bouillon powder, which I love the flavor of that, kind of even a little bit better. So I was going to use some of that. And y'all know I always, if I'm not using a spoon or something, I will pour my seasons in my hand and then put it in there. Well, I got too risky with it and decided to just sprinkle it over the top of the green beans. And it wasn't coming out until it did come out. And y'all, y'all know what happened. Oh my gosh, I thought, oh man, I mean, it was a big, a big batch that came out, just a ton of it. And I could take a spoon and get some of it out, some that was kind of, you know, like, you know how it'll kind of clump up a little bit. So like the clumps and stuff like that, I could get that out, but and then like a few of the green beans that it just like covered, I got them out and I thought, what am I going to do? I have ruined these. So I went ahead and got out what I could, and then I mixed it up and I thought, well, I might as well go ahead and taste it. I hadn't put no water or nothing in there yet. I had done everything but the water. And I done put a little bit of salt in there. So I wasn't really worried about the chicken flavor. I was mostly worried about the salt, obviously. And I tasted, oh, it was so salty. I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I thought about it, and I thought about it for a minute. So let me tell y'all what I did. So I got me a cup, like my little measuring cup, and I just scooped down in there and got out like a whole cup full of the beans. And brought them over here and got out my little strainer and put them in there and run cold water over them, rinsed all of that seasoning off. I didn't do it on all of them. Like I said, just about a cupful. Tossed them back in there, mixed them up really good, gave it another taste, and then they was perfect. Oh, thank goodness. That, I mean, Braden loves his green beans. I wouldn't have dared showed up with a ruined pot of green beans for nothing. I would have had to just done some more. But anyway, it worked, and then they're delicious. And then I put just a little bit of extra water in there from what I normally do, but they're fine now, and they're just sitting over here. I finally just turned them off because they're good and done, and then I'll just kind of maybe heat them back up a little bit. But oh man, and I mean, it was my own fault. I knew better than to do that. And I did it anyway. You know, I made the mistake. Okay, y'all. I'm not going to keep y'all on here while I pull this whole ham. It does take just a second. I mean, it's not terribly bad, but it does take a minute. So what I'm going to do is get the rest of this pulled. I'm going to get me a plate to put my little fat pieces on because I'm having to throw them back in here, and that's going to make it harder to get that out of my liquid that I need. So I'm going to finish pulling this, and I'll come back, and I'll show you all the ham, and I'll show you how I like to take the liquid and pour it over it. Okay? Be back in a minute. All right, y'all. I have all of our ham pulled. Hang on. Let me get me a glove on, and I'll show y'all. Look at all this. Doesn't that look good? Let me see if I can get it up here so y'all can see. And this is what you call good pulled ham right here. And this is delicious. You can see it filled this whole thing up. So I mean, this ham probably costed me, I don't know, $22, $23. And it is worth every single cent. Of course, it's not something that we have all the time. But anyway, so this is how I do it. So I will get me a cup here. And now it's this color because, well, I did that completely backwards. But I was supposed to pour it over this over here. But you can see how it's like this white color. That's just from where it has been sitting, you know. But once it warms up, it won't be like that. So then I just do this, pour it over. Now you can also take your ham out in the beginning before you ever pull it, and you won't have as much of these little pieces like this in there. It'll be, you know, be a little bit easier, but I usually just do it like this. Okay, but this is what just keeps it so good, so moist, and as you heat it up, it will just be delicious, y'all. I mean, it's good right now. I've been snacking on it cold. All right, let me see where we're at here. It's probably pretty good. You can see that, y'all see that liquid down in there, if you can see. This is a messy job, but this is one reason why I like to do all this stuff early and ahead of time, and that way I can get all of this grease and everything cleaned up, get your ham warmed back up a little bit, and you're ready to go. I think I'll do one more little scoopful. I think that's going to be perfect right there. And then I'll dispose of all of this, get this washed up, get my crock pot put away, and then we'll just have this pan of goodness here. And y'all look at the bone. I meant to have pulled this out and showed y'all how easy it just pulls out, and it don't have nothing left on it. But this is it. This is our pulled ham, y'all. Oh yeah, and I was so, last night, you know, I was telling y'all whenever I was making that little simmer pot, that this right here, I thought, like I told y'all, I said, when I look at this, I want to say star anise. But for some reason, I thought that it was one of those things that, you don't say it the way that it looks or that you think it would. So the way that I was trying to say it, that I couldn't say it, wasn't even the right way to say it anyway, unless I was trying to say it in a different language. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that this was called star anise. But I thought, no, that's not it. And so I'm glad to know that I'm not as crazy as I think I am sometimes. But look here, y'all. Here's our ham. Let me show you our green beans. They've just been sitting here. Don't them look good? Look at that. Now I got my potatoes peeled. Once I get this crock pot mess cleaned up, that's all the hard work is done. Only thing left to do, mix my potatoes, and then everything else will just go in the oven, heat up or cook. Of course, I've got to cook my dressing, and I've got to cook my hash brown casserole, but it's all good to go. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to show y'all. And y'all, I got tired last night, so I just put my macaroni and cheese in the fridge in this thing. But let me show you how it looks. I hadn't touched it. Y'all see it? It's been in the fridge all night. Now look at this. And this is cold. As it warms up, it's going to be even a little bit creamier. You see this? This is how you want your macaroni and cheese to be. And when I heat this up, y'all, it will be so good. The noodles do not get mushy as long as you don't overcook them. And then whenever you drain them, you hit them with cold water first thing. And then you'll put them back in here, and then they will be just the best texture, I promise you. So I'm gonna get this put in my little tin pan before I reheat this. And that will be it, y'all. We've about got our dinner put together. I love this pan too, by the way. Anyway, y'all, I know I have wore y'all out with the videos the last few days. Y'all just give me so much company. I've been doing so much cooking and so much been going on. I would love to do a quick little glimpse today when we have everything ready and let y'all see Braden. I've got to get my shower. I still look just rough. Y'all know how it is when you just be in the kitchen cooking. You just pull your hair back and throw you some old clothes on and go. And that's what I've been doing these last few days. Anyway, y'all, hopefully I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, bye-bye.